All right, well, the semifinals are done, and we are on to the finals of the 2023 World Darts Championship. Let me talk about the semifinals. I thought Clemens was really, really good against Michael Smith. Michael Smith just had too much class, and once he got that to go 4-2, sorry, he won the sixth set to go 4-2. It was pretty much game, set, match because that was the break. And it always felt like Clemens was hanging on. He was hanging on very well, but he was hanging on. A lot of last leg deciders in that leg, and I think Clemens should be very proud of himself the way he played. He played really, really well. Just Michael Smith was the better player, and he got through. And then the next game, I mean, the first game, I believe the legs were 22-15 for Smith. This was 18-4 or something like that for MVG. Absolutely destroyed Dimitri Vandenberg. I don't know, they had a talk or something like that. It doesn't matter. Dimitri Vandenberg tried to slow him down. Didn't work. And here we are. So we're into the final, which is exactly what was expected. This is wide open field. Go back to my first day. It was Michael Smith, Michael Van Gerwen. I thought Luke Humphries would have a better shot at it. That was basically who I had on the list. And it is. It's a Michael Smith, Michael Van Gerwen repeat of the 2019 final. Again, back in 2019, Smith was, I'd say he's a little bit more, he was talking more cocky than he is now. And he played all right, but Van Gerwen was just too much. And we're getting Van Gerwen's on fire. I mean, 108 average in the semifinal, over 22 legs. That's crazy. What do I expect here? You know what? The one thing I'll say here is if Smith can get a lead, he's got a shot. He's a good front runner because he scores well. He's got to hit the 180s like he did today or yesterday against Clemens. He just has to. Hitting 100s and hitting 57s against Michael Van Gerwen ain't going to get it done. The one thing is going to come down to the doubles. Van Gerwen has been struggling on the doubles, especially when taking out sets. You got to jump on that, where Dimitri Vandenberg never jumped on it yesterday. Sulovic did and gave it a game. Doby didn't. Van Dijvenbode didn't. And Dimitri Vandenberg didn't. You have to jump on them. I think Smith can. If Smith gets a lead, I like this to be a Smith win. I'm actually going to take Michael Smith to win this. I'm going to get him to win this one 7-5. I also love the odds, so I did take a bet on this. It's plus 230. I definitely think Van Gerwen's the favorite, but I don't think he's that much of a favorite. Although, again, the 108 going into the final round or in the semifinals is pretty good. But has he really been tested? Has he been behind in a match? He hasn't. He's been tested, certainly with Sulovic, but he hasn't been behind in any match and had to worry. I think Smith gives him that worry, and we'll see how that reacts. But it's very important for Smith. Smith can't go down 3-0, can't go down 4-1. Just can't happen if he's got a shot. If he gets up 2-0, he's got a shot. Or if he can still stick with him and then have a nice round, or because the confidence seems to be there with Michael Smith. So I think it'll be a fantastic final, and I like Michael Smith to win this one 7-5. I also put my money on 7-5. I'm also going to give my Premier League picks. I think they're going to announce it today. They haven't said anything, and I don't really like the garbage of holding one pick to the Masters, especially when you only have 8 people. So let me go through my Premier picks. The first four in the rankings, whether I think they should be there or not, has nothing to bear with me. Obviously, MVG and Michael Smith. Whoever wins today will be the number 1 in the world. Peter Wright and Gerwin Price. Both Peter Wright, Gerwin Price, could be argued that they're not in great form, but let's be fair. Peter Wright and Gerwin Price put bums in seats, you could say. Although I would think Gerwin Price might not be putting as many bums in seats as you think. But Peter Wright definitely puts bums in seats, so he'll be there. Then I've got my picks. So again, I'm picking the way that I think it should go. I'm going to probably tell you what I think the PDC will do, but this is the way I think it should go. I've got Johnny Clayton in my 5th spot, Danny Noppert in my 6th, Nathan Aspinall in my 7th, and I really tossed and turned on this one, but I did go with Luke Humphries in the 8th position. Noppert won the UK Open, has a semi-final and 2 quarterfinals this year in Premier League events, like the big events. He's done well. I know the World Championship wasn't his thing, but he's won a major. He's been to a semi-final, 2 quarterfinals. That's a hell of a year. And you need new blood as well. Johnny Clayton, I think he's done enough. Obviously, consistent, was the winner of the Premier League table last year. He can beat the big guys. That's one thing that I'm taking into account here, and why I'm leaving some of the people off the table. They can't beat the big players, right? Like a Dirk Van Dijvenbode can't beat a big player. It just can't. I'd say Noppert. Aspinall, again, I struggled with this one. He's made 2 finals. He had a bad World Championship. Well, not really. He ran into Josh Rock. 2 finals and a quarterfinal this year. It's not bad. He brings a little bit of that essence to the game, that toughness. Has a great record against most players not named MVG. He can beat Wright. He can beat Price. He's shown that. Can compete with Michael Smith as well. And then you got Luke Humphries, who's had 2 semifinals, a quarterfinal. Didn't have a very good, obviously, match play or world championship. To me, he should have done better. But again, he's beaten MVG on stage. He'll take on the big players. It'll be interesting. So obviously the notables that I've left off there are Joe Cullen. He's only got 2 quarterfinals this year. I know he made the final of the Premier League. I don't care. Joe Cullen, I'm sorry, I don't see his... Okay, I know he made the final. He was a wire away from winning the Premier League. They're probably going to take that into account. Now, let me explain to you. I think Joe Cullen will be in the Premier League, and he'll replace Danny Noppert on my list. I just don't think he should be there. And then the other one, I guess you could say, is Rob Cross. Again, Rob Cross, what's he done this year? It's not a lot. He made a final of the Players' Championship. But yeah, that's it. There's not a lot to say. I know he's played good. Losing Adobe, though, I think that puts you out of it. Now, he's already said, I don't want to play in the Premier League, so give him his wish. I don't think Rob Cross puts bums in seats. I don't think he does anything else. It's kind of, when you look at this, the new blood, you've got at least Noppert and Humphries for me, which is brand net new blood. And you got Aspinall, who's net new from last year, although he's been in there before. I just don't get why you'd want to include Cross. Now, I think Cross will be included. So the list that I have is you replace Clayton and Noppert with Cross and Cullen. And so I think that the Premier League, the PDC will pick is MVG, Smith, Wright, Price, Cross, Cullen, Aspinall, and Humphries. Where I have it, MVG, Smith, Wright, Price, Clayton, Noppert, Aspinall, and Humphries. Which one do you like better? I'm a personal fan of mine, but we'll see what the PDC does today. Hopefully you enjoyed the final. Hopefully you enjoyed the videos. I'll put together a video for the who I believe is going to get tour cards from the European and UK PDC qualifying school, which I believe starts next Monday. Cheers.